earlier we had told you about Dick Morris' predictions, and he was making outlandish predictions about the election. But don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at one of Dick Morris's predictions for this election.
We're going to win by a landslide. It will be the biggest surprise in recent American political history. It will rekindle a whole question as to why the media played this race as a nail-biter, where, in fact, I think Romney is going to win by quite a bit. My own view is that Romney is going to carry 325 electoral votes. We have a map, I think you can show them, I think he's going to win Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Indiana. These are states that Obama won last time. Iowa, Ohio, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And I think that this is Colorado. This is going to be a landslide. And I think in the popular vote, he's going to win by more than 5 points.
Wrong again, Bob. He lost almost all of those states. He won a couple of them. The rest of them, Minnesota, yeah, Obama. Pennsylvania, Obama. Colorado, Obama. Nevada, Obama. Iowa, Obama. What now, Dick? What now? 325 for Mitt Romney. You kidding, dog? Win by 5 in the popular vote. Try, how about losing by 3 in the popular vote? But Dick Morris not done yet. Remember this golden prediction.
And I base this not on intuition or on smelling the tea leaves. I base it on reading the polls. The exact same polls that say that Obama's going to win. When you look at those polls and you study them and you take account of all of the factors, you see how those polls are telling you Romney will win in a landslide. It's not a question of being smarter than anybody else. It's that I've done this for a living, and there are very few people on television who talk about politics who've ever made a living doing it. And most of them are partisan and echoing a point of view. But when you get down to it, a guy like Karl Rove or Pat Goodell or me or even Joe Trippi, we make a living doing this. And I've made a living doing it for 40 years. And I know how to read a poll. And this is how you read the poll, and that's what this poll says. And you're going to see it on Election Day.
Wrong again, Bob. It's not that I'm smarter than the average person. Well, that one is true, actually, Dick. Finally, you got something right. And he said, well, I'm nonpartisan. Oh, really? Is that how it goes? And by the way, you don't smell the tea leaves. You read the tea leaves. Okay, you smell the bath salts. Maybe that's what was going on. So, Dick Morris, obviously wrong on election night. They're going to bring him back in. This ought to be fun. First, let's break the ice with a little Republican joke.
Dick, what happened? What changed? What about your model compared to the reality?
Well, I'm buried in a mudslide, but let me just say that I feel very badly for Barack Obama, because now he really inherited a mess.
Right.
From his predecessor.
He's
himself.
got 4 more years.
But I love their reaction. Even the Fox News guys are like, right, okay. Anyway, why were you so wrong? So he finally has an explanation, and this is awesome.
I think that the reason that the prediction that I made was wrong is that I was criticizing the polling because I said that it reflected the same turnout model as there was in 2008. And I said that I thought that was a one-off affair, that it would not continue, and that was not going to be the permanent turnout model in the United States. And I was wrong. We are now in a turnout model that is totally different than we've ever had. Blacks are now 13% of the vote, not 11. Latinos are 10, not 8. And people under 30 are 19, not 17. The previous numbers were the '04 model, and I thought things would return to that. They didn't. What this is saying is this is the new America. This isn't your father's America. Single women, minorities, and voters under 30 is so large at this point that unless the Republican Party fundamentally changes its appeal to those voters, it can never win an election.
Wow. He goes from, we're going to kill him, to, we're never going to win again. Well, lucky for the Republicans, Dick Morris is never right. So don't sweat it. Now, on the issue of the minority voters, women voters, etc., young voters. I love that. He's like, well, who let these blacks and Latinos and women into the country? They're voting? Well, I didn't know that. Well, if you take them into account, yeah, it turns out, man, they got a lot of votes. No, but think about it seriously, how stupid he is. He used the 04 model. That was 8 years ago. This is what you do for a living, and you didn't realize that the numbers on Latinos, African Americans, young voters, etc., had changed in the last 8 years, and that it depends on who's running for president on whether they're going to motivate younger voters or not. You didn't take any of that into account. You just took the 04. This is the last time we won, so yeah, I'll take that one. Okay, yeah, this is why we're going to. What a loser! Loser! This is who they have on their side doing math. Gee, I wonder why they can't do any math. What I loved was his certainty. That's what I loved. Other people, they don't understand. I got this shit on lockdown. 325 for Romney. I looked at the polls, man. These are fools. They don't look at polls. I looked at the polls from 2004 and 1896, and I figured this thing out. Loser.